Its predecessor showed how fun co-op survival against endless hordes can be, and has only been improved upon in the sequel. Developed and released by Valve, Left 4 Dead 2 is considered one of the best, if not an iconic classic, when it comes to games that pit you against waves of drooling, howling zombies. If you somehow manage to miss it, Left 4 Dead 2 involves you and 3 friends going through a series of campaign missions in infected locations across the US. With a vast arsenal of firepower, including melee weapons at your disposal, and a nightmarish special infected pet to face, Left 4 Dead 2 is a game everyone should play at least once. If there was a game that made the concept of zombie survival the complete opposite, it would be Dying Light. Not only has Mirror's Edge-esque brought a whole new range of verticality to the game with its free-running mechanics, it has also given the infected some of their athletic kids, keeping you from becoming overpowered with your mobility, where they can easily chase you down. Developed by Techland, this first-person RPG throws you into the infested city of Heron, a permanently isolated town that hides a dark secret about the mysterious plague. With tons of quests, 2 large maps, intense night mode chases and a multiplayer co-op mode, Dying Light is a never-ending game that can be played for hours. Despite seeming to be flying under everyone's radar, State of Decay 2 is arguably a sleeper hit. Undead Labs has put a lot of effort into the game since its 2018 release, despite its rocky start and initially being confused by an overwhelming reception. After a recent update to its graphics and some of its mechanics, the current State of Decay game is the best ever. This open-world zombie survival video game is more about how well you can hold a ball of rags together than it is about following your own tailor-made story through the apocalypse. There's plenty to keep you busy, with an intense but rewarding gameplay loop that includes building and upgrading a base, micromanaging your community's needs and equipment, rescuing other survivors, and clearing out lots of zombies and special virus infections on a huge map. State of Decay 2. Until the third game comes out for now. Developed by Bend Studio, Days Gone decided to combine 2 concepts that had never been thought of before: zombies and bikers. 2 years after the start of a pandemic that has transformed a significant portion of the population into fierce cannibalistic zombies known as freakers, in the dense pines of Oregon, a heart of gold outlaw searching for his wife, Deacon Saint. You play John. What sets it apart is its high reliance on keeping your motorcycle in top condition, as it is both inventory and mode of transport. Also, there are some absolutely huge undead armies you can face. Instead of walking slowly towards you, freakers will jump on everything and everyone in front of them just to swallow you. This results in a never-ending tide that seems to come at you with one purpose. In most cases, your only option to escape is extremely frightening and incredibly difficult to fight. So if you want a challenging zombie game, Days Gone is worth a look. We might think that these 3 words do not go together: steampunk, zombie and RTS. But somehow, They Are Billions, written by Numantian Games, promises this with its own niche. In a post-apocalyptic future, where humanity survives in fortified colonies from hordes of the wandering undead, We Are Billions earned its place on this list because you literally face billions of zombies on screen at once. There are actually so many people out there that there are plenty of videos in the human community that highlight testing their computers with how many they can simultaneously display on the screen before it crashes. With extreme difficulty and lots of isometric hero missions, They Are Billions is guaranteed to scratch the zombie RTS itch. Z-Day is the Marmite of the zombie genre. Some love it and others hate it. But still, despite that, DayZ was for many their first experience with a survival game set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland filled with the dead. Originally based on a mod created via the Arma 2 engine, DayZ went through development hell and stalled in alpha for years, finally releasing as its own product on PC and consoles in 2013. Despite its rough edges, DayZ's community servers are still brimming with all kinds of people who want to pretend to survive the rough terrain spread across its massive maps. With plenty of room to grow, DayZ is a challenging yet fun zombie game that will immerse you for hours. Dead Frontier 2, the highly anticipated sequel to the popular free-to-play MMO zombie survival browser game, took the brutal, unforgiving gameplay of its predecessor and brought it up to 11. Now set in a third-person perspective, the horror remains beautiful and claustrophobic as you try to survive as long as possible in a nightmarish world filled with the dead. Fight, loot, trade, survive, as the game tells you, and rightly so. Your ability to survive depends on how well you work with others as you explore the hostile, decaying ruins left behind by humanity. The game is completely free, comes with a lot and variety of customizations, and apart from all of them, there is even a running economy to support the player. Similar to the movie adaptation, World War Z is only nominally tied to the book, featuring a series of stories that follow different characters around the world and how they survive the zombie apocalypse. Another amazing sleeper hit, World War Z, has infected the fast-paced and overwhelming numbers seen in its big-screen counterpart, but packaged it up in a Left 4 Dead co-op-style campaign that's incredibly satisfying and quite challenging. While there's a huge amount of customization for characters, weapons, and stats that you can change to keep your chosen survivors alive in 5 different locations, World War Z is still regularly updated and worth more than a glance. Although still in alpha, Project Zomboid has a lot of potential. Developed by the Indie Stone, this surprisingly challenging isometric zombie survival game isn't about carving your way through swarms of cannibals, but rather focuses on your ability to work with others, secure supplies, and generally play your way out of any scenario. Despite its appearance, it allows for many creativity and fun moments to be made organically by the players as they help or hinder each other. With no real end goal other than to see how long you can survive, Project Zomboid is great for meeting people who enjoy rummaging through RP or really want to test their teamwork skills. An homage to Dawn of the Dead, Capcom's survival horror RPG was the talk of the town in 2006, as it brought the cathartic zombie-killing game to a whole generation of console gamers who have since put it on a well-deserved pedestal. All trades follow the investigative journalist as Dead Rising, starring the now iconic Frank West, unleashed a mysterious zombie plague epidemic in a small Midwestern town. Set inside a gigantic mall, it's a bizarre ball of community management, Saturday morning cartoon-style villains, and an absolutely enormous amount of customization and weapons to play with. Subsequent sequels expanded on these mechanics even further, but the original will always be a classic.